My wife has been in love within our marriage but not to me. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I can't believe I am at this point in my marriage right now. A month ago, I would have never thought about something like this to happen. Up until this point, our marriage was great. We never left each other's sides, great sex, dates every weekend, and always at each other's backs no matter what. I have done everything in my power to make sure she has had a great life. After knowing her AP at the gym for just 2 months, my wife started an emotional affair with him. Fun fact, I would also like to add that this guy has 3 different gym memberships for different gyms. After confronting her about it, she refused to stop seeing him. She says she's in love with him, and they sent each other flirty texts and nudes. Then out of the blue she says that she hasn't loved me for a while and that AP makes me feel like a woman. But our love felt so real up until I confronted her and this guy came into the picture to ruin our marriage. Ever since this guy appeared in her life, in our lives, she is like a completely different person, cold, resentful, and completely not interested in me. After doing the pick-me dance for 2 weeks, I professed my love for her for the final time and ended it by saying it's him or me. Her answer was I don't know what I want. I stormed out of the house, outed her to my parents and my in-laws, and contacted AP's GF. After this, my wayward wife got pissed at me saying I'm a pussy for telling our families. When she found out I told AP's GF, she went berserk, started yelling at me, pushing me, throwing things at me. She then started saying to me that we are finished and we have no chance. The affair still continued. She and AP pretended like they stopped seeing each other just to get AP's GF to stop being suspicious. If my wife and AP are so in love, why won't he just dump his GF? Since then, I have implemented the 180. I've also found messages of my wife and AP talking about what their babies might look like. I found out that they were going on dates in public. And that the affair has gotten physical. I decided enough was enough and filed for divorce. She will be getting blindsided by papers in 10 or so days. She probably would never expect me to do this, but that's a good thing. I need to show her that I'm serious, and that I am not her second choice. On the day she's served, I plan on going nuclear, telling our families what all she's been up to lately with AP. Showing proof of continuing affair and physicality of affair to AP's GF, cutting off her gym membership, separating my money from our joint account, and making her get out of the house. I am so scared of her getting served and doing all of these things, but I know it needs to happen if I want any chance of lifting the fog. My hope is to save my marriage by dropping an atomic bomb on it, but I'm prepared for the worst. Where I live, spouses need to separate for 6 months before any divorce can be finalized. If she doesn't come back to me at that time and implement the changes I need from her, then I know there is nothing to save. It'll be tough if that's the outcome, but I'll be okay and grow stronger from it eventually. Update: about a month and a half ago when I made this post, I thought I was through doing the pick-me dance, but looking back, I definitely still was. I had this fantasy in my head that having her served would finally wake her up, but that wasn't the case. She was thankful for the divorce. Like I said in my last post, in the state I live in, after the initial filing the couple must be separated for 6 months before the proceedings begin. I decided not to go completely nuclear to not ruffle any feathers. Let me tell you, whenever people on this sub say divorce while she is in an affair fog because you'll get a better deal, listen to them. She let me have our house, our dog, and pretty much anything I wanted to keep. She also agreed to sign a court order saying she can't come after me for spousal support. She moved out today. It was probably the most bittersweet thing I've ever been through. On one hand, living with her for the past 2 months was absolutely brutal. On the other hand, it feels like a huge chapter of my life is coming to a close. I cried pretty hard the moment she walked out, but I know this is absolutely for the best. Her and AP are still talking and sneaking around, and he still has his GF. My STBXW is naive as hell and still neck deep in the fog. I'm still shocked by how infidelity changes a person's whole personality. My wife and I were together for 10 years, and she was legitimately my best friend. We had all kinds of plans for our future. Once AP came into the picture, she could barely tolerate me. She absolutely resented me and could not stand to be around me for the past 2 months of living together. And I was way more civil than I should have been. You'd think I was the one who cheated, lol. I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that she may have been a covert narcissist. Back when I made my initial post, I was a broken mess. I could barely eat or sleep, and I spent most of my time lying in bed. I've come such a long way in a month and a half. I feel so much better. I still mourn what once was and what could have been, but it doesn't occupy the majority of my thoughts anymore. IC has helped greatly. I've been hitting the gym, leaning on family and friends for support, and re-pursuing my hobbies. I've also got a few new hobbies lined up that I'm really excited to try. Since she legally can't come after me for spousal support, I decided that finding a new and higher paying job would be a good change of pace for me. I have a few interviews lined up that look really promising. Also, a ginormous thanks to everyone who posts in this sub. Your stories and advice have also helped me immensely in my healing. I realize that I've already been through the worst of what will be one of the most traumatic events of my life, and that gives me this strange sense of confidence and fearlessness that I've never felt before. This separation period will be a new start for me. I can take my life in any direction I want to. I feel more empowered than I have in my entire life. I don't know what the next 6 months have in store for me, but I know that I will evolve into the best version of myself during it. For any BSs out there struggling, it doesn't matter how much they gaslight, blame shift, or rewrite history. I encountered all of this up until the moment she moved out. Cheating is not your fault, and you are enough. Your WS could have tried to talk about any relationship issues with you or just ended things like an adult. They chose the most hurtful, immature, and cowardly way out. WSs are weak people who have serious character flaws. You can make it out of this in one piece, and you can heal in a short amount of time. This may be some of the most generic advice on this sub, but just take it one day at a time and focus on yourself. Actually put in the work to focus on yourself. It absolutely works. Update: I've been living alone in my house with my dog. STBXW gave both up to me thankfully, working on myself, figuring out what I want in my next relationship, and patiently waiting for the divorce to be over. Since I was with my STBXW since I was 15, I'm now 25, this is my first time experiencing adult life outside of this relationship. Living alone, doing whatever I want to do, and only having myself to answer to is such a great feeling. Overall, my healing process has been going extremely well, I'd say. I'm actually so excited to date again eventually. I've decided to wait at least until the divorce is finalized to take that step, as I don't really want to have the I'm technically still married convo with any girl I may be interested in. Yesterday I realized that I had hit a pretty big milestone in my journey. I realized that I no longer care about my STBXW. What she's up to, or what her future holds. Furthermore, I looked back and realized that I had this feeling of indifference towards her for weeks now. This is a complete 180 from just 7 months ago when I couldn't eat, sleep, focus at work, was in a state of constant distress, and I was deep in the reconciliation fog. Let me tell you, once you spend some time separated and that fog wears off, you start to realize all of the red flags you didn't notice when things were normal in the relationship. I was honestly a great husband and was being taken advantage of for so long by someone who didn't really love or respect me. I'm so happy I'm getting divorced from this absolute loser. My advice to people currently recovering from infidelity hasn't changed much. Seriously work on yourself, spend time doing things you love, pursue the hell out of your hobbies, lean on family/friends and make those relationships stronger. Picture the person you want to be, and try your hardest to be that person. That's what I did, and ever since the split, people have been telling me that I am way more confident than I've ever been. Nothing justifies getting cheated on, please never blame yourselves. And honestly, never take them back. Someone who loves you would never cheat on you. Everyone who has gone through this shit deserves someone who truly loves us, and we will find them. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.